Three Scottish teams representing us in Europe. Three very late equalisers and three draws that give us a decent chance of getting all the teams into the next round. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football. It's time for your European review show. Champions League, Europa League, Europa Conference League. We've got it all. And the good news is none of the Scottish teams lost this week. Phenomenal. How often is it we actually have as many as 3 teams playing and we can say none of the teams lost? Because normally that's never the case. Normally when you've got 3 teams playing, I mean, you're lucky if one team doesn't lose, but none of the teams lost. So that's the good news. Bad news is, though, none of the teams won. And if football ended like 5 minutes early, then all the teams would have lost as well. But thankfully, you got to play 90 minutes, brother. And sometimes there's extra time and injury time, and that certainly helped Rangers and St Mirren, and yeah, maybe even KILMARNOCK as well. All goals were late, but not too late.
Very good third qualifying round, first leg, but I'm scanning and I see 2 Czech Republican teams and I'm seeing 2 positive results.
Well, you say 2 positive results. Is Sparta Prague drawn 1-1 with Basel a positive result?
That's not Basel, mate. That's Bucharest.
Well, that's true. Actually, Basel's for Switzerland. Take that back. Is that really a good draw, though? Yes, it's coefficient. It's coefficient points. I get that, but in terms of going through, in terms of advancing, would you consider that a good result?
No, probably not. But I mean, they're still getting the 0.5 on their coefficient.
Yeah,
and Slavia Prague.
Yeah,
that's the one.
I expect them to. Unfortunately, they probably got the weakest team here, didn't they?
Yeah.
Union Saint Gillois. So, yeah, it kind of sucks. It sucks, but there you go. Czech Republican teams there picking up wins. But let's talk about Rangers then. 1-1 draw, picking up that late equaliser. Cyril Dessers, he gets a lot of criticism. Maybe doesn't get enough praise. I think he even came out and he said that he deserves more recognition. Well, let's recognise him here. That goal was crucial, and it could be the difference between Rangers getting that Champions League money and not getting that Champions League money. But I think he should recognise that it takes him way too many chances to actually put the ball in the back of the net.
Dessers is a good lad, right? He paid for a bunch of haircuts the other day, a bunch of Rangers fans. So, I think he's very well spoken, but you don't determine when you get recognition, right? Your goals do that. So if you start playing well and you start scoring well, that you'll be recognised.
If you just look at his goals, so if you take away all the misses, all the sitters, all the times where, if Dessers had scored that, we'd have won that game, we could have done this, we could have done that. If you just look at goals scored, for his debut season, he actually produced a really good return.
Yeah, I actually think, I've said this before, I think his positioning is, his position is just not, his positioning is great, but because it's that great, he gets into so many opportunities, therefore when he misses that many, it makes his record look bad. But again, you would rather him get into those positions. But see for the amount of chances this guy gets, right?
I think he's got a good first touch as well.
See if he scored them all, he wouldn't be playing for us.
Oh, I know. If he could finish, he'd be a better team than Rangers.
I think his positioning is honestly second to none. Well, I say second to none. I don't mean like he's on a level with Haaland and Mbappe, but do you not think his position is really good? He's always there, but it's the finishing. He seems to
get chances that other players wouldn't get because he gets himself in those positions. But he's just not a good finisher. So yeah, but he finished this one. I mean, you could argue he couldn't miss, but he got it. Rangers won, Kiev won.
I think there was a little overreaction to this game. This was labelled as one of the worst Rangers performances ever.
I didn't think it was that bad.
I've been negative all season, but this was not that bad.
People are saying Rangers were the better team as well, though. I personally don't think that's the case. I don't think there was much in it. I think Dynamo Kiev maybe edged it, but I think a draw is certainly the right result.
People are very reactionary, right? Who didn't? Who watched the games last season against Aris Limassol, getting beat 3-1 by Aberdeen? They were 100 times worse than this.
Personally, for me, Kiev didn't do enough to win it, and Rangers probably done enough to earn a draw. So
Rangers had 12 shots, right? Kiev had 9. I get it. That doesn't tell the full story, but I think for Rangers to outshoot their opponent in an away game in Europe, that's not the worst game they've ever played.
I mean, stats can sometimes be misleading. You could have a bunch of shots that are blocked, within a 30-second period.
I totally get that.
Same with corners. You could get 4 corners in a row.
But there's times I've seen Rangers play, right, and they haven't had shots like up to like the 60th minute, Steve Clark style. We had 2 shots pretty much for the get-go. I thought it was a good performance in some players, but not across the board. But yeah, we need to get rid of some of those players. And I seen some from this game where I can go, that's gave me faith. Get the new players in, get them bedded in. I seen a spark. You can't light a fire without a spark, can't you not? Is that what you saw?
Apparently not. Are Rangers going through, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, they're going through.
Yes, alright. I'm gonna say yes. I think, yeah, I'll go with a yes. I think it'll be tight, but why not? They've got the game at hand, and Kiev just didn't look that good. But
he's got to pick the right team. Scott Wright can't start. Yefty has to start over Wright. Tav for me.
You mean Yilmaz or
no left mid? Yefty. He worked better as a winger than he did a fullback, so play him there.
I know a lot of people are saying Yilmaz needs to drop it.
I thought Czerny was bad, but you know what? He came up with a moment of brilliance, which is more than Scott Wright can do, so I'd start him. Well, then if I start him, but I thought McCausland was alright, but honestly, I think Yefty and Czerny are the two players to go.
Yeah,
there.
is there any...
Tav was a bomb scare, I'd start Sterling.
Is there any excuse?
Is
there any excuse for the new players not to start next game?
No.
Like
well, actually, what was doing the rounds is that apparently Proper was doing up his IKEA furniture. I shit you not.
That's fucking mad. Who came up with that shit?
That's the rumours.
Aye. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the...
What about Salzburg 20? Have a wee look at that. I mean, who would range... See, a lot of people doing a hot potato here. Oh, Kiev are the best team at the four, as soon as Rangers draw. Oh, Salzburg are the best team, so... Honestly, I think some people are looking at Salzburg and thinking they're Leipzig. This is an Austrian team.
Yeah, I mean, Kiev, just because Kiev didn't perform against Rangers, listen,
I don't think there's much between these four teams, don't get me wrong, but for people to pretend that people are putting Salzburg on this pedestal, man, that they're like world beaters. They're not Leipzig, they're not like the third best team in the Bundesliga.
Here, if Kiev turned up though and beat Rangers at Hampden, would you really be surprised?
No.
So, yeah, like, Rangers I think will go through, I hope they go through, but it's by no means over.
If Rangers can, perform the same way that they did away from home, but obviously it'll be a bit better because it's at home in brackets there because of Hampden, they can obviously get the job done. But if the Rangers that we saw in pre-season comes back into play in Hearts, they will get scudded.
Anyway, the tie pretty much hangs in the balance right now.
But we need Rangers. I need it for my...
We all need Rangers.
The coefficient needs it and I just need it.
Right, well, let's move on. We need the Europa League, so let's move on and talk about that. Now, there was no Scottish teams in the Europa League, however, we did have UK and Ireland representatives in there. Both teams on the Champions path losing. Shamrock Rovers losing to Salic, and the New Saints losing to Petroclub Hnceste. So, yeah, 1-0 defeats away from home. Not the worst results in the world. Still, I think Shamrock and the New Saints can go through, but I kind of expect it a wee bit better, especially for the New Saints. I thought this was really a good chance for them. I get it, Shamrock Rovers are up against, Slovenian opposition, and Slovenia, I'm assuming, are higher ranked than Ireland in the coefficients. Shamrock will probably be happy with that. For me, though, New Saints, I think should have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I think they should have done a bit better, but again, it's still very much open. But, like I say, it means they need 2 goals to go through in terms of no extra time, and I don't think the New Saints have got a striker, that's going to fire them to that against a decent champion side.
Yeah, RFS in the previous round beat Linfield 7-0 in aggregate, 4-0 and 3-0 in the respective legs. Tonight, they only beat the Andorran side by 2-0. So, yeah, it kind of shows you there's some really disappointing performances from the UK teams.
No, RFS. Did RFS play Linfield?
Aye, 2 years ago.
2 years ago? I thought you meant recently.
No, but they beat Lawrence 7-0 in the last...
Oh, aye, it was Lawrence, aye. So, yeah, that was bad for Lawrence.
Literally just said they beat Lawrence 7-0.
I thought you said Linfield. Right, Mold beat Cercle Bruges, which, again, I was a bit surprised about. We're 3-0 up after about 20-odd minutes, so...
pretty much kills off that tie, I think. I don't see them really coming back.
And then Victoria Pleasant with a 2-1 victory there against the club that's 4-year-old, so...
Yeah, Victoria Pleasant looking like they're setting up a tie with Hearts, and that's the last thing we want.
What's the other team with coefficients that we need to work nations-wise?
Yeah, Turkey's a team that we don't really want Turkey to do well, and Trabzonspor.
Rapid Vienna.
Yeah, Rapid Vienna, nice wee win there.
Aha, John Lundstrom's team.
Oh, but in terms of Shamrock Rovers, New Saints, do you think they're both going to go through, or do you think they will both be knocked out? Although they do drop down into the Europa League conference, so
You know what? This is a free hit. They've got to go for it. You're guaranteed European football.
if you win this tie,
Yeah.
by
You're
my
guaranteed
calculations,
8 fucking games. It could be Europa League if you win the playoff, but you're guaranteed Conference League.
yeah.
It's massive. Especially for the New Saints, right? Because they've never had that. Shamrock Rovers, Irish football scene, group stage football, right? Because they're not as deady as the Welsh League. But the New Saints have already got a massive advantage over the rest of the league. So it's not...
Getting European football would just cement that.
Yeah, they wouldn't spend it. I feel like with Shamrock Rovers, they would actually utilise it more.
Yeah, to become more dominant in their league, whereas the New Saints are probably like, we're already dominant, we'll just put that money in our pockets. Right, let's move on then to the Europa Conference League. So we had Larn taking on Balkany from Kosovo, and they won by 1-0. I predicted Larn to get the win here, and I was right. 1-0 victory, and that should be enough for them to get through. I'd like to think in the home tie they can do enough and book their place in the playoff of the competition, and it's the Champions path as well, so factor that in. Larn would be taking on a Champions team from a respective league, and that gives you a good chance because
Well, it must be already announced who they've got.
you should be taking on, I believe, we'll have a look at that, but you should be taking on like a lesser league nation. So Larn here with a really good chance of getting some form, well, not some form, Europa Conference League football. I think they can do it.
Yeah, I think they could. I think it's a brilliant result, by the way, for Larn. Because compared to the last round where they've lost 7-0 in aggregate, Balkany aren't horrendous. But you would expect Larn to put up a fight. And I think winning away from home, that's 1 foot in the next round.
1 foot in the next round, you heard it here first. Larn, can they jump all in the second leg? We will see. Double foot it. Right, anyway. Up next, we had Mlada Bolsov, Czech Republican side, drawing 1-1 with Israeli side Hapoel Beersheva. KILMARNOCK, we've already spoke about, 2-2 draw with Trosmo. Kelly took the lead, conceded 2 goals, had a penalty denied, and then we got that late equaliser, earning Kelly a draw. Decent draw, but for me, I was kind of hoping Kelly would win this, but at least he didn't lose. Will Kelly go through in the next leg, or is the damage done here? I would probably argue that Kelly are no longer favourites, but I still don't believe there's much in it. It's pretty close to 50-50 in my opinion, but I do give the Norwegian side the slight advantage after the first leg.
Well, you know what? Breaking news, right? Because I think this is actually massive. Larn would get the loser of Dynamo Minsk and Lincoln Red Imps from Gibraltar, which means if Larn go through, a team from Gibraltar or Larn are going to go through into the group stage.
A team from Gibraltar or Larn are going to go through?
Well, I mean, Larn or Lincoln Red Imps. You would fancy Larn to beat Lincoln Red Imps, wouldn't you? Imagine a team from Gibraltar in the actual group stages, or the league stages, whatever you want to call it. They've got to take that, man. They've got to dolphin dive at that.
Dynamo Minsk, you'd expect to be favourites against Larn?
No, it's the loser.
No, it's not. They're in the Conference League.
No, Dynamo Minsk are in the Europa League. It's the loser that drops down and plays Larn.
Alright, I get what you're saying now. So that's likely to be Gibraltar?
Yeah, it's going to be Lincoln Red Imps against Larn.
So, look, all Larn... Holy shit, if Larn can see out this victory, if they can hold on, the likelihood is they will get Lincoln Red Imps in their 180 minutes away for European football. You couldn't ask for much easier tie.
It must be... Tell you what, that would be a battle of the first ever, because I doubt a Gibraltar team's ever made it.
No, I can't imagine Gibraltar have ever qualified for the any sort of group stage football. So,
but anyway, Kelly, yeah, decent result for Kelly against Tromso. Crucial goal at the end, but I feel like they need it to win to go through tonight. And I don't want to be too negative, but I said that against Circle Bruges and end up right, didn't I?
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Trosmo will probably sneak it, but it will be close. I don't think there'll be much in it, but...
Just do the basics right. Honestly, if it goes as far as playing for a 0-0, fuck it, go for it.
Yeah, St Patrick's 1, Sabah from Azerbaijan 0. 1-0 win for St Patrick's Athletic, but I believe they had a man advantage for the majority of that game. So
yes, so I think this is actually not the best result.
I mean, it's a win, but it should have been a more convincing win that put you in a much better position for the second leg. And right now, yeah, look, a goal lead is what you want, but it could have been a lot better. But they get the win and they get the coefficient points, but yeah, they probably should have been travelling to Azerbaijan with like a 2 or 3-0 lead, but it is what it is. St Mirren won, Bran won. Again, did St Mirren need to take advantage of the home tie? Possibly, but at least they didn't lose. St Mirren, that late goal, that late equaliser, getting the draw. And both of these ties, both the Kilmarnock and St Mirren games, set up perfectly for the second leg. Yes, I think they're both the underdogs because they're away from home and they haven't got the advantage in terms of a lead. But still, they're 90 minutes away. They're one good performance away from beating Bran and Trosmo. Let's not pretend that these are world beaters, these teams. If St Mirren and Kilmarnock play the way they can play, then they can still go through. The way I see it, St Mirren and Kilmarnock they've beaten better teams in Scotland than Trosmo and Bran. So there's no reason why they can't produce that sort of performance away and get a similar scoreline and get through. So it's going to be hard, but I still think St Mirren can do it.
That's the logic. If you can beat Celtic, you can beat Rangers, you can beat these two. St Mirren, yeah, not the best performance today, but it wasn't against Fallour, and then they turned it around in the second leg, albeit this time away from home. But there's still a chance, right? The last thing you would have wanted was going into the second leg 3-0 down.
Yeah, because that just puts the tie over.
Now, Kelly fans, St Mirren fans, you can go to the game with hope. Instead of no hope.
Yeah, you can do that now. Kilmarnock and St Mirren, Kilmarnock match 2, St Mirren match 10. Who would they be getting once we move into the next
Kelly
round?
would be getting Copenhagen.
So we already know that, and St Mirren would be getting...
Go Ahead Eagles, is it?
Go Ahead Eagles. There you go, 2 tough ties. But here, get to the playoffs and see what happens. That's all you can do. Right, let's look at the coefficients then. First up, we have Scotland, and you can see here clubs which make the country coefficients 2024, 2025, and we have St Mirren with 3 matches played and 2 coefficient points. So
undefeated.
St Mirren looking pretty good there. Kilmarnock with the 2 draws, getting 1 full point. And then we have Rangers who picked up a draw, also getting 0.5. We're averaging 3.5 total points right now, which gives us an average of 0.7. So yeah, we're moving up. We're heading in the right direction. So yeah, hopefully we can stay going in that direction. In terms of, let's see, the other leagues, so we've got Wales. Big win not a big win tonight, but previously they had a big win for the New Saints, put them on 1.5. They're the only team remaining there at the moment. They're sitting on an average of 1,000. Will they add to that? I think they've got a chance at home. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but 1,000 there. Northern Ireland, not doing too great, averaging 0.750. Although that win for Larne tonight was definitely a big help. So yeah, they needed that. Before that, they'd have been sitting on something really shocking. They would have been on 2,000 points or 2 points overall. So that extra point has bumped up their average. And can Larne get another positive result against Ballycanny and bump it up once again? Maybe. Then we look at Ireland. Like I said, big result again for St Pat's. That puts St Pat's there on 2.5. So yeah, they're doing a good job in the coefficient. 2 wins and 1 draw. St Pat's unbeaten so far in European competition. I actually think they'll continue that in the second leg in Azerbaijan. I don't think St Pat's will lose. I think we'll see them in the playoffs of the Europa League.
Undefeated in European football so far. You've got to say fair play, regardless of the opposition.
I know it's only 3 games, but for Irish opposition, that is pretty good. You compare it to Shamrock Rovers.
Shamrock Rovers, right? If they lose, they would get the loser of Ordabaza and FC Punik, which are the champions of Kazakhstan and Armenia. That's in the playoff round. You'd fancy them against either of them, wouldn't you?
No, you would. So, could we be seeing Could we be seeing Shamrock Rovers and St Patrick's both? Could we be seeing Larne in it?
The New Saints, if they advanced, they would probably take on Maccabi Tel Aviv.
I would say there's got to be a bit, at least better than 50% chance right now that we'll see one team for either Wales, Northern Ireland or Ireland in the group stages.
Yeah.
I think there's a very good chance of that right now, to be honest. depending on... We'll know more after the next round of games.
It's good though, because every tie's alive for next week.
Yeah, none of them got smashed, none of them finished, so... yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. Let's just see if we can check the Czech Republicans. So I see how they're doing after their round of fixtures. So can we access that, or is it not going to let us?
Can we access the Czech Republicans? Damn it!
Nah, it looks like football coefficients has just decided to freeze on us. So
Well, anyway,
unfortunately,
we know what they're doing. The Czech Republicans, man, they're doing no bad.
Yeah, they're doing no bad. So we can't look, but. Anyway, guys, that's it. There's your review show. We know that they're doing better than us and that they're gaining coefficient points at a higher rate than we are. So, but then, here we go. There's movement. So
why is England top, by the way? Because Italy and Spain got more places than them in the Champions League.
Top four. I'll get the top four leagues get the same.
No, Italy and Spain got one more this year.
But it's not based. It's based on like cards or something like that, fair play or some shit like that. It's not based on the ranking of the coefficients. Czech Republic have now actually moved above Turkey. Czech Republic are now actually up to 9th in the world.
Look how far we are, man.
Yeah, we're falling off big time.
See, to get 8,000 points over an opposition, man.
That's a lot. You need like 2 teams to almost get to the final, don't you? Pretty much.
You know, that's what it would be, though.
But yeah, we can see Czech Republic. They've only got 1 defeat. I mean, how many games they've played? 11 games, and they've only got 1 defeat. So that kind of tells you the standard these Czech Republican teams are playing at. That's real. So 10 out of 11 games are picked up coefficient
let's
points.
Be honest, man. I mean, you look at Borisov and Ostrava. They're picking up the wins. We need our teams to pick up the wins.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's been just too many draws for us.
Yep.
We can sit here and say Kilmarnock have been good, and they have been, but it's 2 draws and a defeat. St Mirren, the only Scottish team to win so far. Fingers crossed that will change next week. And I mean, I'd love all 3 teams to win. Hopefully it happens. Will it happen? We'll be here to find out. We'll catch you in the next one, guys. Lots of content coming over the weekend. Match day 2 of the Scottish Premiership. Then, obviously, next week we have the second leg of these ties. And then at the weekend, it is the Scottish League Cup as well. And I mean, a bit disappointed that we're already getting a break in the league to play the last 16 of the League Cup. But I guess that's just the way it is. 2 games in, and the league taking a week off. I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it.
But yeah, anyway, guys, that's it. Let us know what you like down below, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.